right.
Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back to another episode. In today's episode, I'm here with my really good friend Kaytee. She is an artist that moved out here to Merida, Yucatan, and well, she's set up out here on Paseo Montejo, and she paints animals, right? So tell us a little bit more about what you do out here.
Okay. All right. So what I'm doing here is I do portraits of people and pets. Usually what I do is I get a photo of their animal or of them, and then they walk the rest of Paseo because they're interested in seeing what all the artists have to do. And by the time they're done, they come back to me and I give them their portrait. So
about 30 minutes, right?
About 30 minutes.
Give or take.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. Yeah, like just as we were getting ready to shoot, you already had a few people that came by and taking some pictures of some dogs and getting ready to look at this.
3 that are getting ready to.
And so, basically, you've been an artist for how long?
Oh my God, 50 years.
50 years. Wow. And then, and so basically, you came out here. How many years ago have you been out here in
Merida? We've been here 2 years and 4 months.
2 years and 4 months, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. And so basically, when did you start coming out here to Paseo Montejo to start setting up?
Actually, last year about May.
Okay.
I came out here, and then they said, well, you have to stay at least 3 months if you come out here. So I said, oh, all right, okay, I'll do 3 months. And then I just stayed because all these artists are awesome, and I get to talk to and meet a bunch of artists, and I get to meet people as they come in. So it's really fun. Yeah,
and a little bit later on in the show, I'm going to take a little tour, and I'm going to show everybody, some more of the other artists out here, and show everybody what's going on here in Paseo Montejo. Some of you guys already know. As you guys can see in the background, we got the bici ruta, which is the bicycles, and it's a fun festive atmosphere out here on Sundays. And again, it's so cool. So I want to ask you just a couple questions since we're already out here. So do you need any kind of like special permits or any kind of special anything to just come out here, or just ask permission to?
No, we have to be members of the Corredor.
Okay.
And so I got permission from Lilia, and she's the one who is coordinating what's going on here at the Corridor. So.
Oh, awesome. Hopefully we can speak to her a little bit later too, and share that with you guys as well. For anyone out there, because I'm sure there's a lot of people watching that not just paint, but they have all kinds of art. As we're going to show all the stuff that goes out here on a Sunday afternoon.
Yes.
Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon.
Sunday morning. We usually pack up after this side of the road goes
closes.
Back to having cars. And that's usually around 1 o'clock.
Okay.
So.
That's awesome. All right, so we can see Kaytee's busy working on her next project. So we're gonna let her work, and we'll see if we can come by and visit her a little bit later. In the meantime, we're gonna take a walk down Paseo Montejo so I can show you some more of what's going on out here. And later on in the episode, we're gonna sit down with Kaytee in her studio. We're gonna do a studio tour.
All right.
Yeah, and you're gonna show us your studio, and you're gonna tell us all about your life as an artist and stuff like that. So
yes.
Looking forward to all that.
Oh, that's great. Well, I appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you.
Awesome. All right, guys, so now it's time to take a tour of a Corredor International de Artes right here on Paseo Montejo. So for those of you guys that don't know, we're out here on a Sunday morning, a beautiful Sunday morning, and everybody comes out here for La Bici Ruta, which is again the little bicycle kind of tour where they close off the streets and everybody just goes off on their bikes and rides down the down the street, and it's awesome. I love it. They've been doing this for many years. In fact, this whole artist thing out here has been going on for over 17 years, and depending on the Sunday will depend on how many artists show up here. So let's just take a little tour and check out what some of these artists have. Hola. ¿Tú eres artista? Awesome. So from what I understand, every single Sunday we're gonna see different crowds out here, so depending on when you come out here will depend on what kind of crowd you're gonna see. Sometimes there's gonna be a lot more than others, but it's basically all up and down Paseo Montejo. And so, you know, I don't want to be disturbing too many of the artists here. I know they're all working and doing their thing. So like I said, we're just going to be taking a little walk down Paseo Montejo, and I'm going to show you what a typical Sunday out here looks like.
Ya vi que él hace más. Creo que el final es el órale.
So if any of you guys out there in the audience see anything you like, you already know where to come and where most of these artists are posted up, so you guys can again come and get your art on.
Este señor estaba un día en Nueva York en Central Park. Yo puedo
Now I'm not going to be doing too much talking. All right, I'm going to let you know, the art speak for itself. I know I do enough talking on this channel, so we're just going to all enjoy the art, and hopefully you guys are enjoying the little tour, seeing all the awesome stuff that they have here every Sunday. Buenos días. ¿Eres el artista? El artista.
Así es, así es.
Mucho gusto.
Gracias.
Acuarela. ¿Ah?
Como un paisaje.
Sí, una acuarela.
Bosque o algo así.
Sí, es un río. Todos son originales. Esa es acuarela. Esta sí es una foto.
Hey guys, all right, so I'm out here with Lilia, who is an artist, but she is also the main director of El Corredor de Artistas, ¿verdad?
Internacional del
Awesome, so I'm just gonna put the camera on her and she's gonna tell us a little bit more about El Corredor. So she's gonna talk in Spanish, so I'm just gonna translate it for you guys.
Ya,
So,
Spanish. Ok, pues el corredor está formado por puros artistas visuales. Somos aproximadamente 85 artistas. Ahora, cada uno trabaja diferentes tipos de arte. Tenemos grabado, fotografía, pintura, caricaturistas, óleos, acrílicos, diferentes tipos de impresión. La verdad aquí es un lugar muy agradable, muy ameno, precios muy bajos, sí, y pues se vende muy bien, gracias a Dios.
y una pregunta, ¿que se requiere algo para alguien que quiera venir aquí a hacer la arte?
Absoluto, bueno, de entrada no tiene ningún costo. Lo que cobre el artista en su venta es íntegro para el artista. No se cobra ningún tipo de comisión ni aportación. Únicamente necesitamos ver la obra, ¿sí? Pasar un filtro, ¿sí? Y es todo. Si lo sentimos bueno, perfecto, de calidad, quedan adentro.
¿Y cuántos años llevan aquí ya en Paseo Montejo?
Bueno, el Corredor Internacional del Arte lleva 17 años aquí en el corredor. Sí. Así es, 17 años, nunca ha parado, ni en la pandemia paró. Siempre subieron algunos artistas, ¿verdad? Pero jamás ha parado. Sí.
Entonces tú también eres artista.
Así es, también soy artista, estas son mis obras. Sí. Manejo varias técnicas, tengo grabado, tengo collage, pintura al óleo, acrílicos, impresiones. El horario del corredor en que pueden venir a visitar a los artistas y adquirir una obra es de 9 de la mañana a 2 de la tarde, todos los domingos. Todos los domingos aquí estamos.
También muchas gracias, Lilia, te lo agradezco con todo el alma.
Con todo gusto, aquí los esperamos. Gracias.
observación y que luego regresa a la naturaleza y lo que sucede en el campo de la naturaleza integrada, intoxica, ¿no? De una manera de manifestarlo por medio de la foto. Sí. Hola amigo, ¿qué tal? Hola.
Bien, hola, hola.
Fotos de la ciudad de Mérida.
Qué bonito.
Sí, sí, muy bien.
Disculpa, no quería interrumpir.
No, al contrario. ¿El habanero cuánto está? El habanero que...
Hola.
Hola.
¿Cómo estás? As you can see, everyone's really friendly, relatively really friendly, so that's always really good. A lot of beautiful art out here, a lot of different types of art. It definitely must do, must see when you're out here.
Algunos son reproducciones de original o impresión.
Hola. Muy bonito todo.
Gracias. Todo lo hago, yo hay acrílicos, acuarelas y esto es digital.
Qué bien.
Todo digital y eso
Cool.
lo imprimo, ¿no?
We have a really good friend Kaytee over here. Hey, hey. Doing great. Taking a little walk down Paseo Montejo.
Yeah.
Awesome.
This is Eddie.
Hey.
He buys the art.
Nice to meet you, Eddie. Eddie. All right.
He buys the art on Paseo Montejo.
Oh, awesome. Cool, man.
He is a collector.
Oh, awesome. Okay, cool.
And a
So you're a big fan of the Corredor, huh?
And the character.
Cool. That's awesome. All right, I'll be back in a little bit. I'm just, doing the rounds, right? All right. Thanks for sharing. Nice to meet you.
Chemita dijo que iba a jugar.
Muy bonito todo. ¿Sí? Ok. Sí. ¿Cómo no? All right, and it seems like it's ended right here. Now, as I was saying earlier, it's every single Sunday is completely different. You know, some Sundays, you know, there's going to be a lot more people out here. This happens to be a Sunday, a weekend in which, you know, it's a holiday weekend, and therefore, you know, it's kind of like a religious holiday, I think. I'm not quite sure, but with that being said, you know, that's why a lot of the artists, you know, might not be here tonight or this morning. I'm sorry, I had a long night, as you guys can see. But anyways, this is something that you guys can do. Again, doesn't matter if you had a long night or not, you can definitely fit this into your schedule once you're out here, and you can keep walking down Paseo Montejo. You know, we have our good friends, you know, like Sophie from Zinc, that's all the way down there, you know, Bernardo, you know, from La Cecilia, which are on the other side, and so many other friends and so many other people. And you know, again, you're just a beautiful sight to be seen, and I highly recommend it. You know, if you're out here visiting, you got to come out here and check it out. If you're not out here visiting, if you actually live out here, then you definitely have to come out here on a Sunday. Me and Christian come out here, you know, pretty regularly, you know, to again enjoy La Biciruta and enjoy the beauty of what it is to live out here in Merida, Yucatan. And with all that being said, guys, I really hope you guys have enjoyed the walking tour of a Corredor International de Artes here in Merida, Yucatan on Paseo Montejo. All right, guys, so now we are here with Kaytee in her studio, and she's gonna give us a quick tour of her studio, and she's gonna sit down with us and do an interview and tell us all about her art career, you know, everything as, you know, what you're doing out here in Merida, right? And, you know, how well it's going and how well it's, you know, gonna go, right, in the future, because you have a lot of events, you're always doing stuff, right?
Yeah.
You know, again, we were just started the video out on Paseo Montejo and all that good stuff. So again, let's just, you know, turn the camera on to Kaytee, let her take over and show us her studio and tell us all about, you know, her workspace out here.
Okay, all right. So this is my studio, and this is where I create. Actually, I paint the backgrounds of things.
Okay.
So that's why I have the plastic up here to save this table. I have a bookshelf over here, and I read a lot about Mayan history and gods and symbols and things like that, because I'm interested in that in my work. And if you go over this way, I had these shelves. My husband put these shelves up for me so that I can display some of my pieces in the variety that I do. I basically like animals and portraits. And then I also use like oil and acrylic. Acrylic is the one I like to use most because here we have a lot of humidity, so acrylics are much better to use with that. And over here is my computer, and basically on my computer what I do is I'll have a picture that someone has sent me, and I will blow the picture up in the computer, and then I'll go ahead and start painting here. Like this one is in progress right now. But so that's basically what I do here. I keep, I have this area where I keep all my supplies and all my paints. I've got lots of paints, and I keep my brushes in this little item. My friend made me this, and and this is even more paintings and paints. And I brought a lot of this stuff from the U.S. They do have an art store here. It's called Arcline. And I do get, let me show you. I brought these paints from the U.S. And this I bought here, and all these that are in jars are the way they have it here in Mexico. But the colors are good, and you can easily get things on Amazon if you need to, but Arcline makes a very nice canvas. I have to give them to, they have wood framing on the back of the canvas that is really hardwood, and that is moisture resistant, so that you can very easily use it here and it won't warp. So
Yeah, Christian herself, I mean, she goes there religiously all the time to get all
Yes.
kinds of things. And, you know, a lot of times, yeah, she almost lives there, right? You know, like
Yeah.
any artist, you know, you guys live at the art store.
that's right. It's our candy store.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
what I
yeah.
call it. Yes. So anyway, welcome. This is my studio space.
Awesome. Okay, so all right, let's just get to it and let's get into the interview because I'm
Okay.
sure people are very curious about, well, everything that is Kaytee. So,
Okay.
all right.
All right.
Awesome. All right, Kaytee. So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us about your life as an artist? You know, when did you start, you know, painting? You know, when did you know that this was going to be your life, your career? And just kind of tell us, you know, again, a quick overview.
Oh, okay.
Or not as quick, you know. You
Yeah, I've been doing it for quite a while, so it's not going to be quick. All right. Okay, so I, of course, like every person who's an artist, we all start off with knowing we're going to be an artist way early when we're very young. But my father got me interested in books about paleontology and archaeology and that sort of thing. So when I went to college, they didn't have a degree for archaeology. So what I decided to do was I picked a college that had anthropology and a different college that had art because I wanted to combine the two so I could be an archaeological illustrator. So I took 2 years of anthropology and I went on a dig for the National Science Foundation and was able to do some of the drawings there. And then after I went over to the art school, I graduated with a painting and fine arts degree. But because of my interest in science, I combined the two. And that worked out pretty well. I got to go on a major dig with the National Park Service in Utah, and where they were filling Lake Powell, which is right there above Page, Arizona. And we had to go out and make sure that we had records of all of the ancient sites that were going to be destroyed because of the rising of the water. So that was really interesting. I spent a whole summer out there doing that. And then later on, I worked for several of the universities in the East Coast. Brown University up in Rhode Island, Temple University in Philadelphia, University of Pennsylvania Museum, worked there. Worked for a company called Iroquois Research, which was doing cultural impact studies because of federal grants, needed to have that done before they went in and did everything. So that was all, it was all very interesting. So anyway, I had a good time doing that, but then computers came out. And actually computers where you could carry them around. So they didn't really use archaeological illustrators much anymore. So what I did was I said, well, if you can't beat them, join them. So I started learning how to do computers, working with computers. And I worked for a company called YCAT Systems, and they are out of Utah. And what they did was they did training, but using computer-based. So you would have to use their software, and their software had a graphic component to it. So you'd have to build the graphics that went into the training. And in some cases, we had to write also portions of the training. So in one case, we got a contract from Pratt & Whitney. Pratt & Whitney makes jet airplane engines. And I had to do the thrust reverser part. So we had to take the full course on how the whole engine was put together. So I got to do all of the things that had to do with the thrust reversers. And that was really, and you learn a lot of things. Northern Telecom was another one I used to work with, and just several different companies. So after that, I pretty much said, well, I'm going to separate my painting art from work, because I was getting too into the technical aspects of what was going on and not into the art part. So I started doing more portraits, which is the thing that I like to do anyway, and started learning new materials. Never really got to work with oils in college. Too expensive, you know, when you're a student, you can't afford that stuff. So then I had to relearn how to do all of that. And I really pretty much kept with acrylics for quite a while. And then I switched over to oils because a lot of people were saying, do oil paints, because people think that an oil painting is more expensive, which of course it is because of the material cost. But you know, I learned to love them after fighting with them for a while. But anyway, I came here to Merida, and I basically was just going to bring my little watercolor sketchbook and just go around the city, because this city is magical. There is all kinds of things that you can draw and paint or photograph or whatever from all different types of background. Like you have Spanish and a little bit of French, and you have, you know, the Mayan houses, and the people are just interesting to look at because they're a blend of all these different cultures. So, and I thought, well, I'll just, you know, carry my little sketchbook around. But then Merida kind of grew on me, and there's an English library here. And in the English library, they had the Popol Vuh, which is the Mayan Bible, and I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly, but it was a very interesting piece, and it told a lot about the way the Mayan viewed the universe and how things worked. And they also had a lot of stories in there about their mythology and what gods did what, and how they combined each other, and what they did to, of course, glorify those gods. And so I started doing more painting, bigger pieces. And so after I did about 20 pieces, I went around and started looking at some galleries. And in doing that, I ran into some expats who are artists, and they live here. And so I said, well, why don't I just go ahead and see what they're up to? And so I joined this group called the First Tuesday Artists, where the first Tuesday of every month we do a potluck, and then everybody does show and tell. So it kind of keeps you painting or drawing, because you have to show something else during the, you know, for the next month. We also have a little, what's called a sketchy group. We call it with sketchy people. And we go around Merida, and we go to the parks, or we'll pick a place, and then everybody will meet over there. We'll draw or paint for about a couple of hours, and then we'll go have lunch. And this group has grown. So as people come in and they see the group, they want to join in. And it's really great to see all the different types of art. And we have people from all over. We have people from Merida, longtime people who live here, speak Spanish. And it's nice because their view is very interesting to see what kinds of work they come up with, as opposed to somebody from Canada or somebody like me from the US. So that's a lot of fun. Other than that, oh yes, and of course I finally found a gallery, and just recently had a show here with all of my Mayan and my North American Indian pieces, I should say North American, Native Americans, from Canada and from the US. And in order to keep people interested in the gallery, I decided I would do several things, but keep it to a Wednesday, because I was up for a month. So the first Wednesday, I just did an art talk about the pieces and gave people a little history. I did a little PowerPoint video thing where I could show the people who came in who live here and don't know anything about the American Indians, what it looks like to be in a powwow, or what the different dances are, and the little thing about spirit animals. And then when we went over to the Mayan side, I could show the expats or the tourists who come in, okay, here's a little bit about Mayan history, or Mayan gods is basically what I have, gods and goddesses. And so that they get an idea that the Mayan culture is still very much alive here, and their language. So it's very interesting, and it's something that you should really get to know when you're here. So anyway, kind of that's basically my story, except for those other activities. I guess I could talk about them, but
well, I mean, yeah, tell us a little bit more about. So you said that you had like an art battle.
Oh,
at the
yes,
gallery
yes.
At, like, not too long ago. So tell us a little bit
Okay.
more about what that is.
Yeah. Well, let me give you okay. So first of all, I had an art talk, and that went well. And then the next Wednesday, I did a demonstration and to show people, how I create a painting. So people came in for that. And then the next week we had the art battle. Now the art battle is an international thing, and I know that people from Canada and people from the US have seen it, particularly artists. But down here we don't have that. So we did our own. And we got, I was supposed to do a painting in there, but somebody had to manage this thing, so I was going to manage it. So we had 4 artists. They had 20 minutes to do a 16 by 20 painting. And we had people come in, they could watch them, they would go around and see what each artist was doing at different points in the painting. They would vote on who they thought won. And we also had auction sheets. So we were auctioning off the pieces as they were being developed. So everybody won. I mean, even if you didn't win the contest, your piece got sold. So you made money. So that's what we did for that one. And then this last Wednesday, I did movie night. And I had a movie that it's an older movie. It's called Smoke Signals. And it's about Native American, they're all the actors and actresses in there are Native Americans. And it's basically about a boy whose father left the reservation and moved far away, and the father died, and the son had to go out and collect his father's stuff. Well, he had a resentment towards his father, but he went down there with a friend of his who gave him all these stories about his father. And you can see how the boy whose father left, how his attitude and view of the world started to change as he was going on to this adventure. So it was a good movie. And then, so this week we're ending the show, and that's probably
you've had a surprisingly amazing turnout. Like basically, all these, every day, every time that you're out there. Me and Christian, went out to visit, and it was awesome.
That was fun.
It was great. Yeah, I was so happy for you, and so wow, you know what I mean? Just like in shock, the fact that, because to me it's like you basically just got here, right? How long have you been in Merida already?
Been in Merida about 2.5 years.
Yeah, and you've already done so much. I mean, it's not just everything you've just described right there, but like, in fact, how we started the video, you were on Paseo Montejo.
Yeah.
And so tell us about that. How did you, get there? Just tell us about that.
Okay, all right. Well, okay, first of all, what you really need to do is, if you're going to move to Mexico, or if you're going to move anywhere, is to do a little study on the people there, what seems to be the interest. Take a look at the food. Take a look at not just, so it's not just the sights. You're taking a look at everything. And then when you get here, interact with the local people. Some of them will speak a little bit of English, but you will learn by just listening to them, and you do have translator on your phone. Just use that if you need to. Usually most of the waiters and waitresses and the Uber drivers will have at least enough English to get you around. There's not a problem. But anyway, the point is to get involved with the culture of the place where you're going. And here, it's very easy. The people here are so kind. They'll help everything. And the way I got onto Paseo Montejo, and part of that whole group of artists there, is one of the artists that live here in my neighborhood. She introduced me to the lady who runs the corridor, they call it.
Lilia.
Lilia. And then Lilia told me, she said, well, if you come here, then you have to stay at least 3 months. We don't want people to come and then go and then, you know, want to show some consistency to everybody that comes. I said, okay. So I started in May of last year, and I'm still there on a Sunday.
And so what is it you're doing out there? I mean, we saw that you were doing the portraits of animals, but you were just showing us earlier too that you also do, you know, people's portraits, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So you just do portraits, right? Basically.
Yeah, I do mostly charcoal portraits and some pastel, because it's much easier to handle that amount of material out there. I don't want to be dragging a lot of paints out. I could do watercolor, but I would just rather do it with drawing, because I think it works. It's a lot faster that way and get it done.
And so can you tell us a little bit about, that community, you know, like all those artists and stuff like that? I'm guessing that you're friends with some of them, right?
Oh,
or,
yeah.
Yeah, okay. And just tell us a little bit more about...
well, they're from all over as well.
Okay.
We have people, there's a photographer from Germany. There's some people from Canada. There's a lot of the locals. And when I say local, a lot of them have come over from other cities, like Mexico City or Kyoto, or, you know, and then they've moved to Merida and just set up shop here. So that's basically who they are. You can go all the way from where the Walmart is, which is on the north end of Paseo Montejo, all the way down to, I believe, Roses and Chocolate, which is a hotel down there. I think there's artists all the way down. So and they have that on Sunday, they have the bicycles out. They close off part of the street, and you can bicycle from the main monument. I don't know what's the name of that one? The big one.
The Monumento de la Patria or something
Yeah,
like that?
something like that.
Okay.
You can bicycle around there and then come back down and go all the way down to Centro and go around the major park that's down there. So it's great to be able to have all of this activity in Merida.
And so, I mean, I guess I got a question for you now. You know, since you were talking about all that, how easy was it for you to assimilate out here to Merida? I mean, from just, you know, from what you're telling me, it seems like it was really easy.
It was very easy. Just, you don't have to worry too much about the language. That's what people keep worrying about. Yes, make an effort to at least learn some phrases. I went to the Spanish school for 3 months, and that helped a lot because I learned that, of course, Spanish is based on Latin, and I took Latin in high school, so that helped a little bit so I can figure out what ending to stick on a verb. But the best thing is just to get in with a group of people from Merida, and like I go to the Zumba classes, and the Zumba ladies are all my neighbors, and they just talk, and I just listen, and I will catch some of the words that I learned in school, and I have flashcards, so I'm able to study those some. So it's real easy if you just get out there, and people will help you. I mean, they're not like they're just going, oh, well, heck with you, you don't speak Spanish. No, they don't do that. So that's the way I got involved.
Yeah, everyone is very welcoming and
very welcoming.
And a smile goes a long way.
Yeah.
An attitude, right? A positive attitude goes a very long way.
Oh,
and at the end of the day, it's like again, by you just putting in the effort, well, they're going to put in the effort, and
right.
And then you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
it's like they're very nice. In fact, it's so nice. You know what I mean? That it's sometimes it's shocking, right?
Yes.
Like
Yeah, I tell Uber, you are my maestro, so you're my teacher. Because I can practice my Spanish on the Uber driver, and he's practicing his English on me, so that works out.
And and even when you're on Paseo Montejo, you know, a lot of the people that come up to you, you know, they're Mexicans, you know, or the people just speak Spanish. And I mean, I remember when I was out there with you recording, and it was this, it was interesting to see the interactions that you were having with people as to, you know, again, they barely knew English, you know, and then, you know, when you barely knew Spanish, but still, it was plenty, you know, for you guys to figure out what you needed to figure out.
Exactly.
And again, there's always like Google Translators or so whatever, you know, something to just kind of fill in the gaps.
Well, the nice thing is that my artist neighbors around me will rush to my rescue. I mean, they do better selling than I do. They'll see somebody stopped up behind me because I like to keep drawing because it gives people interest when they, you know, they don't just pass you by. They want to watch what you're doing. And so they'll come over and they'll go, okay, and they'll give them a spiel that I've learned about how much it cost and, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, you love what you do. I mean, you're basically, you know, you're not going to just sit there and wait, you know, for people to come by. You're drawing, you're doing something, you're always, you know, keeping busy.
Right.
Which is, you know, again, you know, why I love you, because you're always, you know, you're just as active as me. You know, you can never stop, you know, like a little Energizer bunny, you know, so.
Yeah, I got this celebration thing we're doing with the Zumba ladies that I got to make a costume with that.
Yeah, you were telling me.
Learning a dance, the whole 9 yards, so.
Yeah, when you know, when I came to the house, you were telling me, you know, how tired you were. You looked exhausted, you know, like it was all the dancing, all the moves, you know, everything you had to learn, and that is on top of everything else that you're doing already.
Yeah.
And you just keep going. It's amazing. It's great. It's like you know, the old saying. It's like life is like riding a bicycle. You just always got to keep pedaling, otherwise you're gonna fall over, right?
Well, and if you fall over, get up, for God's sake. You know. That's right. Yes. Yeah.
So with all that being said, I mean, do you have any final words for the audience? Anything else that you want to, you know, tell the people out there that are watching?
No, I would just say Merida is a wonderful place. You should come and at least visit, take a look around. Don't listen to what's going on telling you that Mexico is bad. It is not. It is definitely not. The people are very friendly. The sites that you can see here are just amazing because you're talking, looking at temples here that were built at the same time that the Egyptian temples were built. So there's a cross-pollination between the different cultures, and that is amazing at how small the world is, even in ancient times.
Yeah, and then for you, I mean, again, you can only imagine the inspiration, you know, that's constantly, you know, giving you just being out here. Again,
exactly.
You know, you just, you know, like what you were saying earlier, your idea was to just come out here, right, with some watercolors and just, you know.
just kind of sketch.
And before you know it, now look at that, you got a little mini empire out here, right, you know? It's great.
Yeah, it's great. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So, all right, Kaytee, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for sharing with us, you know, again, your studio, your life story, and you know, everything that you were doing on Paseo Montejo and then some. You know, I really hope you know, the audience also enjoyed today's video, and they also, you know, again, this is going to be the first of many. You know, we're going to have, you know, a bunch of you know, kind of videos like this, not just, you know, with artists, you know, like Kaytee, you know, and other artists like you saw in Paseo Montejo, but just all kinds of people, you know, doing all kinds of jobs and all kinds of things out there. So again, thank you so much, Kaytee. I really appreciate it.
Wait. I have something for you. Wait.
Oh, okay. Oh my goodness, what's that? Who's that? Is that who I think it is?
That's Gizmo.
Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Oh, Kaytee. Oh, thank you so much. Look at that. Look how awesome.
Welcome.
Look, let's see that. Oh my gosh. Wow. So is that what you were working on? Is that what you had behind you during the interview?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I had no idea. Oh my god. Wow, thank you, Kaytee. All right. Oh wow, thanks. Isn't she the best? She's the best. Oh my god, thank you so much. Oh,
thank you.
Chris is gonna love it. Gizmo's gonna love it. I love it. It's gonna be amazing. I can't wait to hang it up in the house and share, you know, share the love, you know, with everybody. So with that said, all right, guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Thank you so much, Kaytee. I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate the interview. I appreciate everything. And I hope you guys had fun, you know, taking again, a little tour down Paseo Montejo. And I hope you guys are looking forward to seeing more of these, because we're going to be doing a lot more of these. We just, you know, we use you as a guinea pig as the first one.
Okay, so. The first one. All
right.
right.
That's right. So, all right, guys, you already know the deal. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to please like, please subscribe, please share, but don't forget to stay awesome. All right, guys.
All right.
Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.